The groundbreaking 1991 film Boyz and the Hood painted a raw, unflinching portrait of violence and loss in south-central Los Angeles. Tragically, the movie's themes of premature death and shattered dreams would extend beyond the screen. 5 talented actors who brought this powerful story to life have since passed away, their own lives cut short in ways that eerily echo the very struggles they portrayed. From gang violence to tragic accidents, these losses remind us that art and reality sometimes intersect in the most heartbreaking ways. Dedrick D. Gobert Dookie. In 1991, a young actor named Dedrick D. Gobert brought to life one of the most memorable characters in cinema history with his portrayal of Dookie in John Singleton's groundbreaking film Boyz and the Hood. With his signature pacifier dangling from his mouth and his loyalty to the Crips gang, Dookie became an instant icon of 1990s street culture, representing the complex reality of young men caught between childhood innocence and the harsh demands of gang life in south-central Los Angeles. Born as Dedrick Dwayne Fontenot on November 25, 1971, in Shreveport, Louisiana, Gobert's path to Hollywood began in an unexpected way when he met director John Singleton while working at the post office, driving mail routes between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. Singleton, who was developing his script for Boyz and the Hood, was immediately drawn to Gobert's authentic presence and natural charisma, offering him the supporting role of Dookie, a childhood friend and member of Doughboy's Crips gang. This chance encounter would launch Gobert's brief but impactful acting career and cement his place in film history. Following the massive success of Boyz and the Hood, Gobert continued working with Singleton, appearing in both Poetic Justice in 1993 alongside Janet Jackson and Tupac Shakur, and Higher Learning in 1995 with Ice Cube and Lawrence Fishburne. His performances in these films showcased his range as an actor and his ability to bring depth and authenticity to his roles, making him a valued member of Singleton's creative family and a rising star in the world of urban cinema. Tragically, Gobert's promising career and young life were cut short during the early morning hours of November 19, 1994, just 6 days before his 23rd birthday. While attending an illegal street race in Mira Loma, California, with his girlfriend Jenny Hyen and friend Ignacio Hernandez, Gobert became involved in a confrontation with members of the Acroho Boys Crazies gang. After identifying himself as a member of the Crips, tensions escalated into violence, and Gobert was shot and killed along with his friend Hernandez, while his girlfriend was wounded but survived. Dedrick D. Gobert's death represents one of the most heartbreaking examples of life imitating art, as the young man who portrayed the struggles of gang life on screen ultimately became a victim of the very violence he had helped bring to the big screen, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate with fans of authentic urban storytelling. Lloyd Avery II Knucklehead, 12. In one of the most chilling and unforgettable scenes in Boyz and the Hood, a young gang member leans out of a red Hyundai Excel and fires the shots that kill Ricky Baker, forever changing the lives of everyone in the neighborhood and creating one of cinema's most tragic moments. That gang member, credited as Knucklehead number 2, was played by Lloyd Avery II, whose brief but powerful screen time would become both his claim to fame and a haunting preview of the dark path his own life would eventually take. Born Lloyd Fernandez Avery II on June 21, 1969, in Los Angeles, California, Lloyd grew up in View Park, a working-class neighborhood, as the son of Lloyd Avery Sr., a self-employed service technician, and Linda Avery, a stay-at-home mother who later worked for a bank. Despite coming from a stable middle-class family, Lloyd attended Beverly Hills High School, where he excelled in baseball and water polo, and even became friends with the children of entertainment industry legends like Smokey Robinson, Quincy Jones, and Clarence Avant, giving him early exposure to the world of Hollywood. Lloyd's entry into acting came through his friendship with John Singleton, whom he met while Singleton was still a film student at USC. When Singleton wrote and directed Boyz and the Hood, he cast Lloyd in the small but pivotal role of the gang member who murders Ricky, a performance that would define Lloyd's career and lead to appearances in Singleton's subsequent films Poetic Justice in 1993 and other urban dramas. Lloyd also appeared on television shows like Doogie Howser MD and worked in music production, creating the lead single for singer Tisha Campbell's debut album. Tragically, Lloyd's life began to mirror the violent characters he portrayed on screen when he became involved with the Black P. Stones, a subset of the Bloods gang. Despite his comfortable upbringing and promising career opportunities, in July 1999, he was arrested and charged with the double murder of 2 drug dealers, leading to his conviction and life sentence at Pelican Bay State Prison. On September 4, 2005, Lloyd was found dead in his cell, murdered by his cellmate Kevin Roby, who reportedly had Satan-worshipping beliefs, and his body wasn't discovered by prison guards for 2 full days. Lloyd Avery II's story remains one of Hollywood's most tragic examples of an actor whose real life became indistinguishable from the violent roles he played, transforming from a promising young talent into a cautionary tale about the dangerous allure of street credibility. Lexi Bigham, Mad Dog. In the world of Boyz and the Hood, few characters commanded respect and fear quite like Mad Dog, the imposing and unpredictable gang member who served as muscle for the neighborhood's criminal operations. Portrayed by Lexi Bigham, Mad Dog represented the kind of dangerous street enforcer that young men in South Central Los Angeles had to navigate around every day, and Bigham's natural physical presence and intimidating screen persona made the character both memorable and authentically menacing in a film filled with powerful performances. Born Lexi Donald Bigham Jr. on August 4, 1968 in Illinois, the future actor would eventually make his way to Los Angeles, where he began building what would become a promising career in film and television. Bigham started his journey in the entertainment industry through television work, landing early roles in popular dramas like China Beach and LA Law, which helped him develop his craft and gain experience working alongside established actors while learning the technical aspects of professional filmmaking and television production. Following his breakthrough role in Boyz and the Hood, Bigham quickly established himself as a reliable character actor who could bring intensity and authenticity to a wide range of supporting roles in major Hollywood productions. His impressive filmography included appearances in some of the biggest movies of the early 1990s, including the political comedy Dave starring Kevin Kline, the action thriller Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes, the dark psychological thriller Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and the comedy Airheads featuring Brendan Fraser and Steve Buscemi, demonstrating his versatility and ability to work across different genres with A-list actors and directors. On December 17, 1995, Lexi Bigham's rising career was tragically cut short when he died in a car accident in Los Angeles at the age of 27. The accident occurred shortly after he had finished filming High School High, a comedy that would be released posthumously, marking the end of what had been a steady climb up the Hollywood ladder for an actor who had successfully transitioned from television work to major motion pictures and was beginning to establish himself as a dependable presence in the film industry. Lexi Bigham's death represents the loss of an actor who was just hitting his stride in Hollywood, having proven his ability to work alongside some of the biggest names in the business, while building a diverse body of work that showcased his range and professionalism in an industry where consistent employment is often difficult to achieve. Jesse Lawrence Ferguson, Officer Coffee. One of the most disturbing and unforgettable scenes in Boyz and the Hood occurs when a corrupt police officer puts a gun to young Trey's throat and threatens to blow his head off, representing the very real terror that many African-American youth faced from law enforcement in their own neighborhoods. The actor who brought this chilling character to life was Jesse Lawrence Ferguson, whose portrayal of Officer Coffee became a powerful symbol of police brutality and systemic racism, delivering lines that would haunt audiences and perfectly capture the fear and helplessness that many young black men experience during encounters with hostile officers. Born on June 8, 1941, in the Bronx, New York, Jesse Lawrence Ferguson began his acting career in the late 1970s and steadily built a reputation as a dependable character actor who could bring intensity and authenticity to a wide range of roles across film and television. Ferguson moved to Chicago during his teenage years and eventually made his way to Hollywood, where he developed his craft through consistent work in both dramatic and genre projects, establishing himself as an actor who could handle complex and often unsympathetic characters with skill and professionalism. Throughout his career, Ferguson appeared in numerous notable films and television shows, including memorable roles in John Carpenter's horror films, Prince of Darkness and John Carpenter's work, as well as the superhero film Darkman, directed by Sam Raimi, and appearances in popular television series like Star Trek: The Next Generation. His ability to portray authority figures, often with sinister or corrupt undertones, made him a sought-after character actor in Hollywood, and his work consistently demonstrated his range and commitment to bringing depth to supporting roles that could have easily been one-dimensional in less capable hands. On April 26, 2019, Jesse Lawrence Ferguson died peacefully of natural causes at his home in Palmdale, California, at the age of 78. His son Jace found him next to his bed with the television still on, and his death came as a surprise to his family because he had seemed healthy and energetic in the days leading up to his passing. In a tragic coincidence, Ferguson's death occurred just 2 days before his Boyz and the Hood director John Singleton would suffer the massive stroke that would ultimately claim his life, creating a heartbreaking period of loss for the film's legacy. Jesse Lawrence Ferguson's career represents the work of a dedicated character actor who understood the power of bringing authenticity to difficult roles, and his portrayal of Officer Coffey remains one of cinema's most effective depictions of the abuse of police power and its impact on communities of color. John Singleton, director. While John Singleton never appeared on screen in Boyz and the Hood, his role as the film's writer and director made him the most important person behind one of cinema's most powerful and influential stories about life in urban America. At just 23 years old, Singleton created a groundbreaking film that not only launched the careers of numerous actors, but also changed the way Hollywood approached stories about African American communities, proving that authentic voices telling their own stories could achieve both critical acclaim and commercial success while addressing serious social issues with depth and humanity. Born John Daniel Singleton on January 6, 1968, in Los Angeles, California, the future filmmaker grew up in South Central Los Angeles, the very neighborhood that would later serve as the setting for his most famous work. Singleton attended the University of Southern California's prestigious film school, where he developed his craft and wrote the screenplay for Boyz and the Hood as part of his studies, drawing directly from his own experiences and observations of life in his community to create a story that felt authentic and personal rather than exploitative or stereotypical. After graduating from USC in 1990, Singleton made Hollywood history when Columbia Pictures not only purchased his screenplay, but also agreed to let the young, inexperienced filmmaker direct the movie himself, a decision that would prove to be inspired when the film became both a critical and commercial success. His achievement in earning Academy Award nominations for both Best Director and Best Original Screenplay at age 24 made him the youngest person ever nominated for Best Director and the first African American to receive that honor, paving the way for future generations of diverse filmmakers and proving that Hollywood audiences were hungry for authentic stories from underrepresented communities. Throughout his career, Singleton continued to champion diverse voices in entertainment, directing films like Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, Baby Boy, and the remake of Shaft, while also moving into television with shows like Snowfall, which examined the crack cocaine epidemic's impact on Los Angeles communities. On April 17, 2019, Singleton suffered a massive stroke and was hospitalized at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, where he remained in intensive care until his family made the difficult decision to remove him from life support on April 28, 2019. At the age of 51, John Singleton's death marked the end of an era for authentic urban storytelling in Hollywood, as he had spent his entire career fighting to ensure that stories about communities of color were told by people who understood those communities from the inside, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire filmmakers to tell their own stories with honesty and courage.